Here.
Mr. Meehan,
Here.
Ms. Evanazia,
Here.
Ms. Casconi,
Here.
Mr. Murray,
Here.
Mr. Bailey,
Here.
Mr. Neely is absent.
He's
Mr. Weissman is absent. Mr. Lynch,
here.
Mr. Semrau,
Here.
Mr. Pasternak is absent. Mr. Henry,
Here.
Ms. Bondswitch is here.
Notice this meeting is provided through resolution adopted by the mayor and council on December 16, 2024. This regular meeting of the mayor and town council at the Boonton Town Hall, 100 Washington Street, Boonton, New Jersey. And by electronic mailing to the citizen of Morris County and Dale Record newspapers, through posting on the town website, and by filing a copy of the same with the town clerk. Members of the public are also permitted to submit written comments prior to the meeting via mail or email, which may be summarized or read in their entirety during the public comment period. All public comments, whether during the public portion of the meeting or submitted beforehand, shall be limited to no greater than 3 minutes in duration. At this point, we'll move on to our various committee liaison reports, starting with Administrator Neil Henry.
Thank you, Mayor. Highlights from the Administrator's Office for the time period of November 18th through December 1st that are not on your agenda this evening are as follows. I did have the opportunity to attend the New Jersey League of Municipalities Conference in Atlantic City on November 18th through the 20th. I did issue a request for competitive contract on janitorial services, which is due December 8th. I am presently working with the town water engineer to clear the way through a second approval on variances for the upgrades at the Wellfield transmission plant. Hopefully I can resolve that with a meeting I'm having with officials tomorrow to iron out the last of the issues. I did initiate solicitation for resumes for our code enforcement and public works departments. Interviews are set to begin later this week. I'm happy to report the paving of Wooten Street, Park Avenue, and the parking lot at the DPW yard has been completed. And I did speak to Mr. Ezzy about making one last sweep through town to pick up leaves, which he'll be doing at the end of next week when he's done with the regularly scheduled leaf pickup. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Administrator Henry?
I'd just like to thank Mr. Henry for facilitating that final leaf sweep based on public requests. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Moving on to DPW, Councilmember Balin.
Thank you, Mayor. DPW committee met November 4th. Neil said the most exciting thing to come out of that meeting, the third round leaf collection. I was not in attendance. I met with Mr. Ezzy and just spoke briefly with Neil. The updates from that meeting were the status of paving, striping, especially at the DPW lot, which was closed for paving and striping. The boiler update for Town Hall and the roof update. And then just confirming preparation for snow season, which we told we may be having some this evening. And again, at that third round leaf removal.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Councilmember Balin? Seeing none, next up is Finance and Personnel. Unfortunately, Councilmember Weissman was unexpectedly detained this evening. Most of what we discussed at the finance, I believe Administrator Henry has already touched on. There's a couple things on the agenda tonight.
We've got the water rate increase.
Water rate increase and the finalizing the ordinance for the soon to be heated public building.
It can't come quick enough.
Next up, Police, Councilmember Meehan.
Thank you, Mayor. The Police Committee met on November 11th. A couple items that we touched on, still working through the multi-phase process of getting cameras installed up throughout Main Street as well as Lower Main Street parking lot and getting up at Pepe Field cameras there. A lot of traffic conversations are going on regarding development up by Elcott, Park Woods, trying to get egress and how different traffic patterns are going to be. So still under discussion, trying to come up with some solutions there. One of the items is on the agenda tonight, lockers for the police department downstairs. So trying to get their physical offices under control. Training is going on. State mandated some new training that came out, so the police department has to do that. And we started looking at some capital projects for next year. But everything was good. And obviously, one of the highlights of that meeting, we saw at our last town meeting, was installing our new police chief. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for Councilmember Meehan? Seeing none, we'll move on to Councilmember Meehan, Recreation.
All righty. Recreation met the same day, the 11th. Went over some of the events that we had very successful. Then we got some upcoming events. On December 4th, we have our tree lighting up at Santaland with a special guest coming. December 15th is our Wrap and Yap. It's a Christmas present wrapping session up at Senior Center. And then next year, just for people getting ready, is January 20th, we're starting Pickleball Tuesdays back at John Hill. We did that last year with success, so we're doing it again. And January 7th, there's kids soccer clinics going on. So any more details, look at the Boot and Rec webpage, and you'll see everything listed there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments or questions regarding recreation for Councilmember Meehan? Seeing none, we'll move on to parking. Councilmember Murray.
Thank you, Mayor. At our last parking committee meeting, we discussed the safety sticks proposal. The suggestion was made to install some along the busiest parts of Main Street as in a pilot program, and we're going to follow up with the vendor on that possibility. New RFPs for paid parking options, excuse me, due last week. We'll plan to discuss those tomorrow at tomorrow's parking committee meeting. Many streets had the parking spots painted again, Main Street, Boonton Ave, a few others. That's been completed for now. We are also in the process of sourcing parts for some of our broken meters. There was reported there were a bunch of meters that were broken. And finally, it's on our agenda tonight, the holiday parking ordinance was discussed to update that in perpetuity starting November 15th through January 1st going forward. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Any parking committee comments or questions for Councilmember Murray? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the library board. I attended a brief meeting remotely from the league convention down in Atlantic City. There was not a whole lot going on. One of the big things that they would like to report is I believe the children's room is complete or virtually complete, and it will be a grand opening. There's been quite a bit of back and forth as far as when that will actually. It was agreed at the meeting, and then there was a conflict, so I don't know that they've actually come up on what the actual meeting is. I believe it will be early in January. That's it on the library. Moving on to correspondence. Received a letter from our Parks and Rec Director, Chris Pryor. Dear Mayor Lynch and Town Council, Boonton Parks and Recreation would like to ask permission to hold our 5th annual car, truck, and bike show on Sunday, April 26th, between the hours of 10 and 3. We're requesting permission to close Main Street between West Main and Highland Avenue intersection to William Street, as well as the Main Street and Boonton Avenue intersection to First Street between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. to set up and disassemble the event. In the event of inclement weather, the event will be held on Sunday, May 3rd at the same time and location. I've already requested necessary approvals from Morris County Board of Commissioners and am waiting approval. Thank you for consideration. I'd like to call for motion to open this up for discussion.
So moved.
Seconded, Chaconi.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody have any comments? It's been a pretty successful program and well received and well attended.
I would just encourage everybody to sponsor a trophy.
Okay, seeing no other comments or questions, I'd call for motion to approve this request.
So moved, Casconi.
Second, Murray.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Next up, consent agenda, resolutions 25-275 through 25-283. Call for motion to open this up for council comment and discussion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody have questions or comments regarding particular consent items? Seeing none, I would close the the council discussion and call for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second, Balin.
Interesting. You're already on the agenda that way.
Ah.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Thank- Mr. Balin,
Yes.
Ms. Casconi,
Yes.
Ms. Divanazia,
Yes.
Mr. Meehan.
Yes.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mr. Neely,
yes,
Mr. Weissman is absent, Mr. Wakilsky. Mayor Lynch.
Yes. Unfinished business. Ordinance 19-25, public hearing, proposed adoption. An ordinance amending the code of the town of Boonton, state of New Jersey, revising the town code, chapter 201, entitled parking. That's in section 201-16 in the holiday season fee waiver period. I would like to call for motion to open this up for public discussion, this ordinance and this ordinance only.
Second, Steve.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any members of the public wishing to come forward, discuss this particular ordinance and only this ordinance, please step forward, introduce yourself, and the microphone is yours. Seeing none, I would close the public hearing section and call for motion to open this up for town council discussion.
Seconded, Cascone.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any members of the council have comments or questions?
Aye.
concerns?
Is this in line with previous years?
I believe
The
it's
date and time?
memorializing this for perpetuity.
Uh,
I think perhaps it was a shorter period of time.
I think we're going from the 15th of November now.
15th to the 1st,
I mean,
and in perpetuity right now.
Well, what I'd like to say is that it's good to see it encoded in our ordinances rather than have it be oh, we forgot this year and, you know, to have it be consistent, to have people know. But also very important for people to recognize that although we are waiving the fee, we are not waiving the time limit. And so, you know, there should be no expectation that you can park all day in spaces where you couldn't previously do that.
And I would just add, we had public comment last meeting regarding the all-day parking, which may have erroneously been suspended last year. That is not in this ordinance. It's restricted to short-term 2-hour spaces.
okay, looks like everybody's done. I would close the town council discussion and call for a motion to move this ordinance forward.
So moved, Evenezia.
Seconded, Cascone.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Balin.
Yes.
Ms. Cascone.
Yes.
Ms. DiVenezia.
Yes.
Mr. Meehan,
Yes.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mr. Neely,
yes,
Mr. Wakilsky. Yes. Mayor Lynch.
Yes. New business, ordinance 20-25, introduction, title only. An ordinance of the town of Boonton, County of Morris, State of New Jersey to amend Part 2, General Legislation, Chapter 201, Parking. I would call for a motion to move, to introduce this ordinance.
So
So
move me in.
second, Evenezia.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Balin.
Yes.
Ms. Cascone.
Yes.
Ms. DiVenezia.
Yes.
Mr. Meehan.
Yes.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mr. Neely,
yes,
Mr. Wakilsky. Yes. Mayor Lynch.
Yes. Ordinance 21-25, an ordinance of Town of Boonton amending Chapter 130, Section 20 of the Code of the Town of Boonton, modifying water and sewer rates for all customers. I call for motion to introduce this ordinance. Introduce this.
Second, Balin.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Balin.
Yes.
Ms. Cascone.
Yes.
Ms. DiVenezia.
Yes.
Mr. Meehan.
Yes.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Mr. Neely,
yes,
Mr. Wakilsky. Yes. Mayor Lynch.
Yes. I will now open the meeting up to town council members, administrator, and town attorney comments. Anybody on the dais care to bring up any issue they'd like?
Mayor, the only thing I would bring up is, town attorney is, we had an executive session and it's important that we indicate that it was to discuss affordable housing issues. But it's in executive session because we wouldn't want developers to know what we discussed. And I just stressed to the governing body that the discussion in executive session, as always, stays in executive session. Shouldn't have the discussion with anyone else but amongst yourselves or with the administration or our office. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Shop local.
Okay, all right, I got a little out of order coming out of closed session. I wanted to bring to our attention that Mike Wade's wife passed away yesterday. She'd been struggling for quite some time. I know they're both very faithful individuals, you know, hopefully, you know, she's in a better place. I also wanted to mention that Mikey Oga's father-in-law, Adrian Selesky's father passed as well. He was, I think, well into his 80s. So I just want to recognize that, and if we get a moment of silence and recognizing them. Thank you. Rest in peace. Seeing no other comments from the council, I'd call for the public to any comments they wish to make. Please step forward to the microphone, introduce yourself, and the mic's yours for 3 minutes. I bet not.
I'm Tom Delanek. I live at 620 Reservoir Drive. I'm right on the corner of Reservoir and Monroe. So I'm the happy guy that's right there by the student drop off. Yeah. Which I want to emphasize, I totally approve, I promoted it. A lot of people didn't. I said, you know, this is a good thing. It's all about safety. We gotta keep these kids safe. But I'm here today because I'm very, very concerned that somebody is gonna get run over. It's really scary what's going on right now. Now, the last few years, things were, you know, there was a lot of bumps in the road when it first started, when it first opened. But finally, people calmed down, they realized, you know, you gotta pay attention, you gotta slow down. You gotta watch these kids because they're little rugrats running all over the place. All they're doing is looking for mommy's car, daddy's car, to get in the car. And it's easy not to see them. And I've seen so many times that one of these children that almost got hit. Okay, now the number one complaint always is speed. Everybody's speed. You know, they come zooming down Taft, they zip down Reservoir, go by my house, zip up the street, you know, for the drop off. Everybody's in a hurry. Whether they're dropping them off in the morning or they're picking them up in the afternoon. So, and things have they've changed quite a bit, you know, since this was first opened. Because now you have more teachers parking on Monroe. And you have more people picking up the kids. Well, that's a good thing. We want more people picking up the kids. Because obviously Lakebrook is a nightmare. We all know that. Okay. But at this point in time, right, my property up the corner, so I've got 110-foot frontage on Monroe. And I'll have normally 5 or 6 teachers' cars parking. Okay. Now, one of my big concerns is when you go down the street and you get to the corner, okay, and on it, on the pictures from there.
Hey, watch your step, please.
So if a car is parked on the, say, the new section that was poured when they resurfaced Monroe, I don't know how familiar you all are with this, but, okay. So, and everybody knows what a disaster that was, but that's another story. But anyway, if a car is parked close to the corner, then people coming down Monroe
Can't see.
can't see anybody coming the other way on Reservoir. Plus, got that big, huge pine tree sitting there too. So that's, you know, so that's involved. I've asked people, like, that's a classic example, that car right there. She was basically on a corner. Well, okay. So now as you go around the corner, I have some more pictures to show you. There's a fire hydrant about 12 feet from the corner. People park in front of the fire hydrant to pick up their kids. They think it's okay because they're in the car. No, so now it's another problem. Now you can't see anything now coming down, okay? So Monroe it's a rather wide street, but when you have all the people coming in to pick up their children, Monroe basically becomes the one-way street. Right? And now you have cars coming down Reservoir, turning left, you got a guy coming down Monroe, and you meet head to head. What are they gonna do? Somebody's gotta give. So there's been a little bit of road rage there too. So here I am, I'm the grumpy old guy in the corner, and I'm yelling at people, hey, slow down, stop what you're doing. So my number one request is that we put the yellow lines down there. They didn't do that. For some reason, they didn't do that on, which I think is a more important corner than any other corner on Monroe. They did it up the street, but they didn't do it on them. So people don't, you know, if the cash funds are there, the yellow lines, whatever you guys call them, and then we have a right to say, no, you can't park. I mean, last week, in one day, I told 3 people to stop parking in front of the fire and they weren't very nice to me. It's like, oh, no, this is not a good situation. Okay?
3
So
minutes
that's
now.
number one. I request that we put the hash marks in there, so at least you can enforce no parking in front of the hydrant, no parking on the corner. Okay? So then the next issue is, I guess I would have to ask the question, are there any rules or regulations given to the parents that are picking up there?
This is public comment. When you're done with your statements, I will respond to you.
So today, I went on, I counted, there were 20 cars lined up. So they come up Monroe, they start at the pickup station, they come down to the corner, go around the corner by the fence, and go down in front of my house and go down 2 or 3 other houses. Okay, so what happens is, here comes all the kids, they're all running around, they're looking for mommy or daddy's car, they run in the car, and then as soon as they get in the car, they jump on the line and they're going home. So I personally think there should be some kind of rules or regulations that you stay in line. Because we now have a one-way street on Monroe.
We're getting the idea that there's safety concerns that you're bringing to our attention. So we will, if I may, we have the chair of the police committee and we have a liaison to the Board of Education. It needs to be a joint effort between the two of them to address enforcement and to communicate to the parents picking up. Councilmember DeVenezia, Councilmember Meehan will bring it up with the appropriate folks who can address that. As far as painting, we may have missed the window for this year, but certainly we can try to do it for next year.
Mayor, I just got a text from the chief. We actually painted on Monroe today,
Okay,
the cruiser out.
Today?
Yes.
we knew you were coming.
I don't know if they were by your house, but certainly the section out here, I saw them when I went out for lunch.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful.
How's that for response?
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I know that at one point there was request to paint a yellow curb on
We'll put the police department together with the Board of Ed and get this looked into.
you know, maybe if, you know, rather than stalls, maybe there needs to be a yellow curb there. You know, whatever it is to draw people's attention to the fact that they really aren't supposed to be.
We
parked.
do have an officer who's trained in traffic safety, so we'll coordinate with him.
Mhm. Okay, so let me ask you another question then. When there's pickup and drop off on Monroe and Reservoir Drive, should not the speed limit be 15 like it is on the other side of the school?
We can raise that with the police department.
Because they're not even going 45, trust me.
Okay,
So, I mean.
got that?
On it?
Please,
there's
Police Commissioner.
One concerned citizen, her neighbor that actually put out a sign in his front yard, just recently saying, you know, what does the sign say, Maggie, treat this like your child?
Drive like your kid.
Yeah, that's how concerned they are, because there was almost a terrible tragedy last week. This little kid just, I mean, this kid, it was a miracle it didn't get hit. And the woman, man, whatever it was, they were going at least 40 miles. They come just zooming down that street.
Do you ever see, is there supervision out there, like teachers or parents?
None.
None? Okay.
Well, parents, yeah.
No, but
Nobody from the school.
nobody from the school like organizing it or whatever. Okay.
Well, that's why it needs to be coordinated between the schools and the police.
Some of the parents, you know, go in and escort their kids out. Most don't, most teachers run out, like I say, and they're running wild. And, I'm not saying, it's just a matter of time, you know. And I don't want to be the guy.
All right,
calling
we
nine-
appreciate you bringing it to our attention, and we have 2 people on the council that are looking into it on your behalf. Post haste.
Then I also want to bring up some tragedy. I mean, it's blatant. I pick up trash every week. And I think, you know, I think that these people, these parents should understand that, you know, these are not garbage dump. Now, yesterday, Sunday, I blew all the leaves and everything off on the roof, down to the fence. I personally take that, I want, you know, I'm typical of the people on Reservoir Drive. Do you know that the property on Reservoir Drive from the edge of the street to the fence is owned by the town of Boone.
I don't personally know that.
Okay, it is. I found that from the surveyor. But the town of Boone doesn't maintain it. The people do. We do. We clean it up. We mow the leaves off. We cut the grass. The town of Boone does absolutely nothing. You can go all the way down Reservoir. Now, there might be a couple houses that don't. But I guarantee you, 90% of them, we all do it, and we got injury to it. It's not a problem. Looking out over the reservoir, you want everything to look nice, you know? So, one of my problems is.
We'll take your word there's garbage.
Yeah, so yes, last night I blew the street completely clean. This morning I get up and I take that picture. Yeah.
From the students, from the parents dropping off, from careless people,
Can't catch who's doing it.
well, neither can we.
People. You know. I pick up more Poland Spring bottles, empty bottles of water. But that, it's okay. We want to keep the area clean, but I think people should be aware and the parents should be more cognizant of what either they're doing or their kids are doing. And I'm some of the parents are, because I'm picking up cigarette butts too. But nobody's really, these guys aren't stopping yet, you know? So, you know, that's another issue. Another thing I think you need to address is, they need to have more, they need to respect the property owners. Not only us individual property owners, but the town. Okay, I got people, you know, they cut across the corner, my corner, let's say I'm on the corner. Right? So I've been living there 18 years now, trying to grow grass between the pine tree and the street.
You're cutting down trees.
Okay, so there's another picture. So finally, when
I
I
know.
go there, I decided
One here.
I'm gonna put up a fence and I'm gonna make grass grow in that corner. And so during the summer, I had a makeshift fence, was made out of pipes and some old line that I had, and I had it all seeded and all dirt. See, obviously there was no grass there. I caught a parent walking through it and then going underneath the. Okay, so obviously he got hit, but. So then when it was all done and I found a good grass to grow, I built that corner fence. And put it up just within the last couple of months. Just today, a woman with two huge dogs is walking in to pick up her kid. She walks between the fence and the tree, of course, stopping through my grass. I said, come on, lady, you know. And she's also parked her car on the grass between the fence and Reservoir Drive. Now, again, that's your property, that's town property. We own that, the town, but we maintain it. I've been very polite with these people. Please do not park on the grass because you make ruts, they fill with water, and then we have mosquitoes and bugs. And we have to go out there and break it up and reseed it. And the answer is, well, I'm afraid my car might get hit. Reservoir Drive. Well, while we're waiting to pick up our kids. So this is the kind of stuff that we're dealing with, and you know, it's like people gotta understand. Another thing is K-turns. People continue.
Mr. John, like, this is your first time here. We generally limit people to 3 minutes. So you're welcome to send in any emails you want.
Sorry, I didn't know that.
Try to be,
Okay.
you know,
So-
you're helping it. You can email us anything you want and we'll respond, but the public comment.
Anything, and I'll close by this saying, look, if you folks want to come up with some kind of rules or regulations, and you want somebody to help you, I'll be glad to volunteer my time. As the resident that's most in capital, by what's going on, I'll do whatever I can. But again, I'm not here, I know I'm complaining about what stupid things that people do, but I'm more concerned about these kids. Somebody's going to get hurt.
We'll make it a priority.
We don't want these little guys.
Thank you very much for your comments.
Thanks, Tom.
Any other members of the public?
Shout out to Bob Ezzy, thank you so much.
Liz, I don't believe there's any emails or,
No, there are not.
then I would call for a motion to adjourn.
No move.
All
Second, Murray.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming.